I freaking knew it. I freaking figured that this movie wasn't going to be peak. You know what's funny? Despite the success of Puss in Boots 2, I was still very much concerned for Shrek 5's existence at all. Like, as far as I know, I could be wrong, but the people behind Puss in Boots 2, I haven't heard anything from them about this movie. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong, but the only people that are involved that I hear are in charge of this movie is a producer, correct me if I'm wrong, a producer of the Minions. Which pretty much explains everything. Which pretty much explain everything. Okay, it's just the teaser came out. Alright, today at the time of this recording. Now, I just want to dissect things that I know people are going to despise immediately. Is the animation style. I can imagine DreamWorks be like, but we changed our animation style in Puss in Boots. Why are you mad now? It's like, bro, there's a difference between style and character design. I think that's the thing, because Puss in Boots altered the style, but not the design as much. And, like, very barely. Like, even in the Shrek flashback scene, or the flashback moment within the Puss in Boots 2 movie, just first of all, I want to get this stuff out of the way, that I'm not mad at, that people I know are going to be mad at, just because they're mad at everything else. Donkey looking older, I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at his design at all. He's practically just Donkey. Like, I'm fine with Donkey. Secondly, the daughter, I'd be like, where are the 3 kids? I'm like, bro, it's just one of the kids. Y'all need to relax. It's just one of them. By the way, he's voiced by Zendaya, which I shouldn't be surprised at, but Christ, they're putting her in everything now. She's the new starter pack now. You got The Rock. Welcome to the put her in everything starter pack. Oh, and the other thing is the whole scrolling TikTok plot. Whether that's a reference or a plot, I don't care. I'm not mad at that idea because, first of all, the whole point of Shrek is a modern subversion of fantasy at all. So if we're gonna do this for a generation of now, we might as well do that. Also, Toy Story 5 is gonna have something similar with finally doing the screen plot for toys. So. And also like an army of buzzes again apparently, so okay. So aside from that, Fiona, I'm not that mad at. I could see why people complain about. I feel a bit weirded out, but I can get used to her. Shrek himself, ironically, no. Shrek is the only one I feel like actually it was design changed. And I think because people expect him to be like a Chad like he once was. And I guess it's more like a midlife crisis kind of thing, where it's like, oh, you're not the old man you used to be. But then again, they did that in Shrek 4, so it's kind of pointless to do it again. Unless you could do something different with it, which is fine, you know? But I will say, they're older now. They're just older. Like, when you look at your parents between the ages of 20s or 30s to like 40s, they're practically not gonna look like the same people. So I guess I would give it that valid point. I will say, the thing that bugged me, and the thing that bugs me, and I know that's actually really concerning, which is not surprising because this is modern DreamWorks. This is the same DreamWorks that made the Kung Fu Panda trilogy, or the old How to Train Your Dragon movies, or the first 3 Shrek movies. No, this is the DreamWorks that did Trolls and all that. Sure, they did the Wild Robot or whatever, that movie that was really well received, which, good. If that and Puss in Boots 2 is any indication, there is hope. The problem with that is that this movie, even if they did fix the design, even if they fix and change everything back to the way it was, because I know people are like, well, it's 20 years ago. Animation changes. Yes, that's fine, and I have no complaint with that. I mean, compare the old and new style of Gru and the Family. I think you just need to tweak it a bit. I'm not mad at it as everyone else is. I am concerned and I am weirded out. Don't get me wrong. But I think you just need to tweak a bit. Just tweak a couple things here and there and you're good. But I think what really worried me was the dialogue the characters have. It's very simplistic. So modernly simplistic. So illuminationally simplistic. So it's like, again, this is a tiny teaser. We haven't seen the movie yet, so we don't know if the movie's actually going to be peak or not. Which, here's the thing, even if they do change the style, I guarantee you, at the worst case scenario, this movie, no matter if they change it back or not, is going to be mid. Worst case scenario, this movie's going to be mid. Or, alright, okay. It's worst case scenario, this movie's going to have the same quality of story as Kung Fu Panda 4. Which, from what I heard, and I haven't seen a movie, everyone says it's kind of either mid or, okay. Which is obviously disappointing compared to the other past movies, but I'm not going to be salty about it, but I understand. We're in a time where it's very gambly. We don't know what the movie's going to be, if it's going to be good or not. Like, we went from, I can't wait to see what this movie is going to be, to like, I don't know if the movie's going to be good or not. That's the concern now. It's going to be alright. I'm not saying it's going to be trash. Also, I won't be surprised if it's trash. But I also would be happy if it's actually peak. It's the same thing with the Daredevil thing. Don't expect it to be as good or better than the other movies. Just at least hope it's at least good. Or at least great on its own. Obviously not on its own like that. Not like that, but like, I mean, like, if the movie's tolerable for you to watch again, then it's fine. Because again, not everything's supposed to be Shrek 2 level. Not everything's supposed to be Daredevil season 1 to 3 level. It's the same thing. So don't expect it to be as good or better. If it's better, slap me if I'm wrong, and I'm happy for that. But that ain't gonna happen. Especially in the world where we live with trolls and Minions being the new Simpsons, where quantity over quality. Also with modern SpongeBob, don't expect Shrek 5 to be a masterpiece. You can treat Shrek 5 like a renaissance of the fandom, but not like the story. It's gonna be like a sadder version of the Minions or Despicable Me 4 hype. Because remember when Despicable Me 4 came out and there was a whole trend of like people in suits, men wearing it because they were seeing a kids movie where they grew up with. And now like with all the hype with Sonic 3, the Spider-Verse movie, like all the hype everyone's gonna, I think arguably the biggest hype movie for this is going to be Shrek 5. Which is gonna be sad because if the movie's actually really like, if the movie's painfully average, then it's gonna be weird because it just feels like even if it's mid or not like horrendous, it's still like a sad disappointment for others. Not for me. Like, look, I love Shrek, but like I'm not gonna be salty about everything. Like, but I could say my piece. So this is my piece. All I recommend DreamWorks is if you could change the story better, if you can improve, good. But I won't be surprised if the movie's mid. And for the animation, I tweak a few things. Just a couple things, not much. With that being said, all I'm going to say is that my prediction for this movie is it's going to be, at worst, painfully average. Well, I don't know, because when you have people who worked with Minions, I don't really think you're going to have the best of luck. But hey. The rest is up to you, DreamWorks. Good luck.